The 10 richest people ever, adjusted for inflation. Money. We all need it. Most of us want more of it. And some people in history, well, they had more than the rest of us combined. We're talking about levels of wealth so obscene you could accidentally lose $10 billion and not even notice. The kind of wealth where you forget you have yachts because you have like 5. Today we're counting down the top 10 richest people of all time adjusted for inflation. Because we love math that makes us feel even poorer. Number 10, Cornelius Vanderbilt, $185 billion. Coming in at number 10, it's the Commodore himself, Cornelius Vanderbilt, worth a whopping $185 billion today. He owned enough railroads and ships to create traffic jams before cars even existed. Vanderbilt was so rich, he could have built his own railroad through your house. Luckily for you, you weren't alive to be evicted by a guy with a steam engine fetish. Number 9, Henry Ford, $200 billion. Number 9, Mr. Henry Ford, the guy who made cars affordable but definitely wouldn't sell you one today because his adjusted wealth is $200 billion. Ford revolutionized the assembly line, making cars faster than I go through Netflix shows. But let's be honest, if Henry Ford was alive today, he'd still be trying to sell you a Model T in black. Only black. Number 8, William the Conqueror, $230 billion. At number 8, we have William the Conqueror, who wasn't just rich because of taxes, but because he basically conquered his way into England's throne and their wallets. Worth $230 billion, William's I just invaded you tax plan was highly effective. Lesson learned. You can either save and invest or, invade an entire country. Either one works. Number 7, Abar the Great, $150 billion. Next up, Abar the Great. Because if you're going to rule an empire, might as well slap the Great onto your name. Akbar controlled the Mughal Empire and had access to $150 billion worth of bling. Oh, and the occasional elephant army. With all that wealth and power, I bet Akbar could have opened the most exclusive club in India, with a 2-elephant entry minimum. Number 6, Joseph Stalin, $200 billion? Kind of. Joseph Stalin, worth about $200 billion, but here's the catch. It's not like Stalin personally had $200 billion sitting in a Soviet savings account. No, he just controlled the entire Soviet Union's wealth because communism. So, technically, Stalin owned everything and everyone was broke. Capitalism won, communism also won. Confusing, right? Number 5, Augustus Caesar, $4.6 trillion. Now, Augustus Caesar didn't just control Rome, he controlled an economy worth $4.6 trillion today. That's a trillion with a T. Being the emperor of Rome meant Augustus basically had a gold-plated toga and a palace view of the Mediterranean. Honestly, if Augustus was in Zillow today, his property value alone would be in the billions. Number 4, Andrew Carnegie, $310 billion. Coming in at number 4 is Andrew Carnegie, a man so rich he could have made skyscrapers out of solid gold, but chose steel instead. How noble. With $310 billion, Carnegie spent the last part of his life giving away money to libraries, universities, and basically everywhere except your hometown. Sorry about that. Number 3, John D Rockefeller, $340 billion. Yes, John D Rockefeller, America's original oil baron. At $340 billion, Rockefeller made Standard Oil the biggest monopoly in history. Imagine owning so much oil that if you spilled some, Exxon would personally call to apologize. Hello? Oh, hey Exxon. Yeah? I just spilled a barrel in my backyard. Can you send a crew over? Thanks. Number 2, Yakob Fuger, $400 billion. Number 2 is Yakob Fuger, a guy with a name so rich sounding you can hear the money jingling. Fuger was a German banker who had his hands in everything, from copper mines to empires. Worth around $400 billion, Fuger basically financed Europe's entire royalty. Dear King, please stop asking for loans. Regards, Yakob. Number 1, Manam Musa, $400 billion plus. And finally, the wealthiest human being ever, Manam Musa, one of Mali. worth $400 billion, give or take a palace or two, Mansa Musa owned so much gold that during his pilgrimage to Mecca, he gave away so much wealth that he caused a decade-long economic collapse in Egypt. Casual. Mansa Musa's wealth was so legendary he could afford to tip with actual gold bars. Imagine that at your local coffee shop. Keep the change. It's 5 pounds of pure gold. And that's our list. The 10 richest people of all time, adjusted for inflation. Because what's wealth if you can brag about it in 2024 dollars? Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Who would you rather be? The guy with a railroad empire or the one crashing economies with his generosity? Thanks for watching.